So here we are in the kitchen with a little quiz question for you. It's a spot the difference. I want you to tell me what is the difference between these two radios, these two Icom handies. Spot the difference.
Hang on a minute, let me just put my glasses on. Oh, I already have. They look identical. Buttons all the same. Oh wait, hang on. At the top, one says ID-52. This one says ID-52 plus.
Aha, so plus what? This is
exactly
the new one that's just come out. So what are the differences? As you can see, cosmetically, not a lot of difference between the two. They both take the same battery pack. They look pretty much identical in every way. So we'll explain in a second what the differences are. First of all, though, here's a hot tip for you. If you bought an ID-52, you get it out the box. What do you always want to do when you get it ready?
Turn it on straight away and go.
Start doing stuff with it.
Yeah.
So, in common with the 52, if I can never open these little
you do have trouble
rubber
with
doodahs,
those grommets.
but if I
do you want to use your special pen trick?
No, it's all right.
There it is. You got it.
I mean, I haven't got. It's chewing my fingernails.
Oh,
is the
SD
problem.
card.
Yeah, it's a little SD, a mini SD card there, a micro SD card.
Micro, yeah.
If I can, no, I can't even ping it out now. There we go. So there's the little micro SD card. There we go. And the other ID-52 has this as well.
Same as that, yeah.
If you put that in the adapter and pop it into your PC, you can then go to downloads and you can download an ICF file onto this.
Okay.
And then you can pop it straight back into the radio.
And what's an ICF file?
Well, that contains all the information that you're going to want. It's a complete one that Icom have put together that's got all the UK repeaters in, European repeaters. In fact, you can select how much information you have in the particular file you download for the stuff you want. But basically, you'll have all your repeaters, all your DSTAR repeaters, and then when you switch the radio on, you are literally
So it's like
ready
the
to go.
full setup for channels, repeaters.
Everything. So once you've done that, what do you do next? Well, let's look at the other differences here. If I have a look on the side and just open up this little rubber doodah, which is covering up the USB slot, what do you see there?
Well, there's been this kind of globalization now of USB.
Keep talking while I try. That's it.
This could take some time.
Cover me opening that up. There we go.
USB-C.
There we go. So we now have a USB-C socket on here, which makes finding a lead to connect
Well,
it
and
to.
it also means, you know, before we've had to buy about 15,000 different USB connectors to charge anything, to use anything. The USB-C is going to be the way forward for everything we own soon.
So true. So now you've got one lead that is going to be fairly easy to find to connect this up. Now, with the ID-52, with the slightly different connector, you could connect that up and you could plug it into your PC. And then once it was tethered to the PC, you could use the PC as your internet access so that you could run that in terminal mode or access point mode via the computer. But what you couldn't do before, even though the ID-52 has Bluetooth and you can do various Bluetoothy things, this radio has a new Bluetooth chipset in it. And I think that's probably the biggest difference. And the new Bluetooth chipset enables you to do all that tethering to something else but without the wire. So you can actually tether it to your mobile phone. In actual fact, some of the stuff that you'll see on the internet and even the manual as issued with the radio, and I got it out of the box, is still catching up with the developments that Icom have done on this, because it used to be only worked on an Android phone, but now it will also work on iOS, and so you can get apps for iOS or for an Android phone, and then you can connect via Bluetooth. And because of this new Bluetooth chipset, there's a few clever things you can do. So let's just have a look actually at some of the apps that are available here, Mike. So,
because let's face it, a lot of us are now tethering our connectable handies to our phone for that whole hotspot thing. It's not just about using it analog style or digital voice style.
But if you were doing that with the hotspot, normally you'd have the hotspot would be, you'd have to connect the hotspot to your phone.
With a wire,
Well, you know, you could do that wirelessly maybe, or however you do it. But you're skipping all that out because you just got radio, phone, off you go.
Like it.
And so also you could leave the phone on the table here and wander around your room a bit within the range of the Bluetooth. So it's all good. And for that, they have produced a couple of, which we will just show you in this short comparison video. The first of the apps is the ST4001. And this is a picture handling app. picture utility software, and it makes it a lot easier because what you can do is you can take a photo straight off your phone.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
And you can get it all sized right, how you want it, or crop it how you want on the app, and then send it to the radio. And then you can save it on the SD card on the radio so that you can send it to other folks, and you can do all that.
Yeah.
Connection via the Bluetooth. Then there's the RSMS11. So this is another little app. And this one, if I, let's just power up the radio. Obviously, we won't go into all of that now, but you have to switch on the Bluetooth on the radio.
Yeah,
you have to,
and your phone's got to be...
And then you've got to pair them up.
Yeah.
But once they're paired, away you go. And so you could set up who you were sending your calls to, and when you're using it on DSTAR. So if we set it scanning like that, it should get on and find, there we go. It says it's connected to the Icom ID-52. And then we're in a position to set things up like our to's and froms and all the stuff that we do in DSTAR. We can do that on the phone, which is sometimes easier than using the slightly fiddlier controls on the radio. And we can also make other adjustments on the radio, on the app for our Bluetooth connection, the transceiver settings. So we can change the output power on the transceiver. We can do all of that from the app. But in order to make that work, you do have to make sure the CIV settings in the radio match the CIV settings
on the software.
In the app, just like we've talked about before with Icom radios when you're getting to talk to other devices, but it's really straightforward to do. And then the last of the apps is the RSMS31.
Okay.
And this is the software which will allow you to use the radio as an access point via the new Bluetooth chipset, which enables us to use it in terminal mode. So we can use it in terminal mode or as an access point using the phone as the connection to the internet for the radio. And for this one, there's a few things we need to fill in before we start. We can see at the top here, connection device. Well, because I paired it before, it knows it's that Icom BT ID-52. It's not connected at the minute. As you do when you set up for DSTAR normally, if you're doing this on a radio, if you've used an Icom radio before and set up terminal mode, you need your gateway repeater server. People will be familiar with this with the other Icom radios, is you're going to put in whatever repeater you're going to use as a server, or whatever the URL of a server that you're going to use for the DSTAR. I've put in the gb7ic.icomuk.co.uk, which is that Herne Bay repeater one.
Yeah.
And of course, do remember you have to be registered with DSTAR, and you do the registering. You're supposed to do that with the repeater that's nearest to you. And in the UK, it's always easiest to do that just with Icom UK, because
which is what I did. Yeah.
They run that repeater.
Yeah.
And you can get the info on how to do that on the website. Your terminal AP call sign, well, that's G0FGX.
That's it.
And whatever you've registered, I've got A there.
8 characters. Yeah.
The gateway type, you've got a couple of choices. You can be Japan or global. Well, we're not in Japan, so it's going to be global. UDP hole punch. You are supposed to set routing for port 40,000 for this to work properly in your router. Although if you have the hole punch on, in theory, it might fight its way through anyway.
Okay.
That's always part of the fun of setting these things up, is port forwarding. Allowed call sign. So what we could do, Mikey, is, we could only allow certain call signs. So if I put that on, and then we could put a list of allowed call signs, but we're allowing anybody to use it. So
and that's a bit like a not list, isn't it? But that an allowed list.
Yes, the other way around from a not list, exactly that. So you can either have it open to everybody, which I've got at the moment, or you could set it up so that anybody can use it. So before we can now use that with the radio, we've got to put the radio into terminal mode.
Like it.
So there we are. We're not in terminal mode at the moment, but we go menu, DV gateway, and we want to step up to terminal mode. Yes, please. Oh, one other thing, I'll just show you. You can configure how it connects. So DV gateway connection, is it USB or Bluetooth? It's Bluetooth we're going to use. So there we are, and we are in terminal mode. I think if we come out of it now, it says terminal G0FGX. So now we should be able to connect the app to it. There we go.
Okay.
And so I've got it in terminal mode here, and we're still connected to my phone. But that's not the only thing we can do, because we can use the dual function now. And we had on the other VFO the Sidmouth analog FM repeater. So if we get them both up together, there we go. We can monitor both at the same time. And that's a new thing for the 52 Plus. So we can be listening via our terminal mode, and at the same time we can be listening to the Sidmouth repeater, or if I were to step up to make that one the top, I can be tuning through other repeaters or simplex channels and be doing both things at the same time.
So it's like fully dual watch, dual receive at the same time, yeah?
Yeah. So we can be monitoring them both at the same time,
Right.
which is pretty handy. The key differences then between the ID-52 Plus and the ID-52, that USB connector, which we talked about. So that's a key thing, the USB-C connector. But also that new Bluetooth chipset in here, which allows us to wirelessly connect to either an iOS phone now, and that's new, it used to be just Android, or an Android. We don't need the cable anymore, and we can do access point mode or terminal mode wirelessly with that. And it will also allow us to do that and at the same time carry on monitoring on the other VFO for normal repeater or simplex activity. The other thing, of course, we did mention earlier was the fact that it's easier to manipulate the pictures with the new app that they brought out for that. So you can crop your pictures, sort your pictures out, load them to the radio and share those with your pals on DSTAR. One other point, it's a different app for the 52 Plus when you're going to use terminal mode and access mode. It's the MS31 app. It was a different app that they used when it used to be tethered. So there we are. Those are the differences, and that is the brand new ID-52 Plus.